morning, everyone. I'm going to share my screen and let's start. To my share. Okay, let me just change swap my screen. Okay, today we are going to be reviewing some Power Automate functionalities that we can integrate with CRM Dynamics. The idea is that we are going to be just watching an introduction of that topic because Power Automate has a lot of things that probably we could start using it. But at the beginning, I'm going to be focused on the CRM integration. Okay. Uh, Basically, Power Automate that previously was called Microsoft Flow, and that basically is exactly the same. Microsoft just changed the name and basically creates a platform to do some processes and integrate many different platforms, many different systems. So the idea with Power Automate uh, is that you could have a lot of connectors and a lot of triggers, and after that start using it to integrate your apps. So probably some of you already know Power Automate, some others not. So I'm going to try to be detailing some elements like the basic ones, but in some others I will try to go a little bit more in deep to present you more information. Just a quick video to start. It's like an intro video. It's like a reflection. And let me just share with you this. Well, the reflection of the video is just keep in mind that the most important thing in your business is, of course, just your customer, and just try to be focused on that. Okay, let's start with the presentation now with the content. Just let me. Okay, the main topics that we are going to be covered today is what is Power Automate, what for is it basically, how to prepare the CRM to integrate it with Power Automate, how to configure it, and after that we are going to be activating and monitoring a flow. Okay. Uh, what is Power Automate for? So basically, there is some examples that you could review it just to understand a little bit how to use it, or is something that could help me or not. You could automate business processes, of course. You could send automatic reminders for past due tasks. I mean, you could configure Power Automate to send emails, to send push messages, to send SMS. You could do many different things regarding to notifications. You could move business data between systems. Actually, you could use it as a integration platform with the schedule functionality that we have in the product. At the moment, there is more than I mean, there is almost 300 data sources that you could use it. And additionally, you could do direct connection to some API. So you could probably have more connectors there. And additionally, you could automate tasks that are not working on internet, probably that some activities that you could do directly in your computer, in your local computer. For example, you could use Power Automate to do a flow that is going to read an Excel file and do local things. And after that, just send that information to another system in internet. So this product is real powerful. Um, as I mentioned, I'm not going to go deep in the product. I'm going to be focused on the integration with CRM, but I just really want to highlight that it's a really powerful product, and that probably is going to give you a lot of benefits if you take your time and try to go deep in the functionalities that the product offer, of course. Okay, how to prepare the CRM? Basically, there is no, it's not necessary to do a specific preparation on the CRM. I'm going to give you some suggestions that you could take or not, but there are some elements that you need to keep in mind before you start using PowerAutomate and CRM, because if you don't take that elements in account, probably you could have some issues at the future. So I just want to highlight to let you know, and probably with that information, you could identify if it's something that is going to be useful or not for you. Um, the first one is that before, I think that probably 3 or 4 months ago, I don't know, I'm not sure. On Power Automate, a connector with CRM was available. That connector is not available anymore; it's deprecated. But now it's available the Databurst connector that you could use it for connect to CRM, of course, CRM online. But the previous one connector that appears that the name was Dynamics 365 is not available anymore. So you will need to use the Dataverse connector. I'm going to do an example later to show you how to use it. So I just want to mention that. And something additionally that I really want to suggest you is try to create a specific managed solution to include your flows in it that you are going to customize. What it means. When you start using Power Automate, uh, you will see that when you create a flow, basically, for example, you have a development environment, you are going to create a flow in the development environment, and after that, you want to deploy that to the production environment or the QA environment. That's something really common. Uh, what happened? That if you include your Power Automate flow directly in the solution that you are working with the customization, for example, the entities, every time that you deploy that, the Power Automate flows are going to turn off automatically. So that's why I really recommend you have a specific managed solution with the Power Automate flows, and after that, explore as managed solution for the next environment. I will show you that directly in the CRM, but it's something that I will recommend. Okay, let's do one Power Automate. Let's start. So the first thing is that you need to create a solution to group the flows in that you are going to be doing. So how to do it? Just go to the CRM. Just go to, I mean, if you are here, you just need to close. You just need to click in Advanced Settings, and after that, just click on Solutions. And in Solutions, you need to create. I mean, it's a suggestion. It's not required, but I really suggest that create a solution like, for example, Power Automate. I create here a Power Automate solution, and I'm going to include here all the Power Automate that I'm going to be doing. Okay, so the first step is create a solution here. The second step is go directly to makepowerapps.com. So if you came here, you could come to make.powerapps.com, and you are going to be in the Power Apps environment. That's the environment that we are going to be using. Okay, the next thing that you need to do, of course, and it depends of the number of environments that you work with, is that you need to select the environment that you are going to be working. In this case, I'm working in Optimus Demo Base, but as you can see here, I have Optimus Demo, I have Optimus Production, I have Optimus Dev Base, I have Optimus Demo Base. So you need to be sure that the environment that you are working on is the selected one. Okay, at the moment, I'm going to be working in Optimus Demo Base, and I'm ready. I'm already in the in make that powerups.com. Okay, the next step is that you need to go to solutions and look at the solution that you are working, that you are going to use, and create a cloud flow. What is that? So select on solutions, the Power Apps portal is going to present you all the solutions that you already have in that environment. Select the solution that you're going to use. In my case, I'm going to use this one, is Power Automate. And here you need to just wait a little bit. And after that, just select the process that you want to use. For example, I'm going to click on New, and I'm going to click on Flow Flow because I'm going to create a flow that is related to something that is going to happen on CRM. Okay, so I'm going to select Cloud Flow. Power Apps is going to open a new window that is in Power Automate already. Okay, and now you're going to be here in the basically in the designer. Okay, so the first thing that you need to define is what is your trigger, and after that you could configure the actions. To define a trigger, there is a lot of triggers, of course, related to Outlook, related to Teams, related to many different things, almost 300 connectors, and so many different triggers. So I'm going to use Databurst. And as you can see here, there is and it's really funny because actually there is already a legacy triggers here. It's something that is not too old, but there is already a legacy triggers here. So the ones that you are going to be using is the green ones. Okay, probably it's too small. I'm going to try to make it bigger. Sorry, just to let you see. Okay, so there's three main triggers here. When a row is added, modified, or deleted, that is the basic one. I mean, when you create, when you modify, when you delete a record. So this is the one that you have to use it. And after that, you are going to have one with actions. Like if you want to do something specific when something happened in the CRM, but a different event, you could use this one. Or when a flow step runs from business process flow, it means that if you in CRM, for example, in opportunities, you have a business process flow and you want to run a flow exactly when a specific stage happened, you could use this trigger. Okay, for the moment, I'm going to use this one. That is going to be when something is added, modified, or deleted. Okay. The next thing that I have to select is the, 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 the change type that you want to be monitoring. For example, in my case, I'm going to say that when something is added, but you could select added or deleted, added or modified, deleted, modified. There's a lot of combinations here. So I'm going to select added because I want to trigger an action when a specific record is created. Let's say that when a lead is created, I'm going to send an email or something like that. Okay. So when something is added, you need to define the table that you are going to be using. Let's say that is going to be leads. And you need to define the scope that you want to use. It means that if you want that, if a record is created in the scope organization, trigger the event. But if you want to activate just based on the user or based on the unit base, business unit, sorry, you need to define the scope. By default, and most of the time, we use the organization because it's something that is going to be happening always. Okay, so you could have additional elements here. For example, if you select modify, you could specify the columns that you want to be monitoring, or the filter that you want to apply, or if you want to just leave a delay, you could do it. Or if you want to run as a specific user, for example, like the owner or like the user that is modifying the record or someone specifically, you could use this functionality. By default, with this are enough. Okay. After that, you need to define the steps. So just click on next steps and define the things that you want to include. Of course, the first one is going to be a condition if you want to define a specific condition. But if not, you could just define the functionality that you want to do. For example, you could send an email, let's say Outlook, send an email, respond, update, create event, delete, create contact, send an email. Let's do this. Okay. So what I'm doing here is that when a record is created on leads, I'm going to basically send an email. Who is going to receive that email? You could use, on a specific email, or additionally, you could use elements that you are creating in the record. What it means. For example, leads. Let me see this. Let's delete this one just to, sorry. Let's delete this one just to make example with this one because it's my email. So I'm going to be able to show you that. So when I create this one, for example, I'm going to say Jorge, sorry, I'm going to say new lead, something real basic, and my last name. And after that, I'm going to leave here my email. Let's say that it's going to be Jorge Castro.optimus.group. Jorge Castro.optimus.group. Okay, so I'm gonna have that element there. And if you want to use that on your flow, so you need to add here add dynamics context. Sorry, and here you will see all the records, all the available fields that you have in the records that you are creating. So I am going to use the email here. Okay, that is the email that I'm just entering in my form, and I'm going to send that to that person. If you want, you could use the same subject, or you could use a specific subject. You could use elements that are related in the record, for example, the title or the topic, for example. Let's say that I'm going to use the topic, and I'm going, let's say for example, new lead, and I could do something like this. So I'm using a specific test, but additionally, I'm going to use a dynamics test. And that is a test that I'm going to take from the lead that I am creating. Okay. Additionally, you could define here the body. The body is going to have basically all the elements that you could include in an email, like a link, like a specific test, or whatever. Welcome to our company, something like that. Okay. Additionally, if you want to include elements that are already in the record, you could do it as well. You could just click here in add dynamic content, and you could just include additional content there. Okay. There is some advanced functionalities here. If you want, you could just use a specific user from the sending. You could just copy or behind copy, attach files, or do additional functionalities here. But basically, you are going to send an email. Okay, it's really easy, and it's basically that's it. You could define a name here. For example, welcome email, something like that, and just click on save. Okay, it's going to be saving, and after that, you're going to be able to use the flow, the PowerAutomate. Okay, it's already saved. You could, if you want, you could click here in flow checker if you want to validate that everything is correct. If you want, you could use the test functionality just to do an example, but I want to just test it directly from the CRM. Okay, let's close this one. And if you close this, you are going to be directly in the flow editor that I'm going to be explaining you soon. Okay, so we already created the flow. We already defined the trigger. We already configured the connections and the actions that we are going to be implementing. So now we are going to activate that, and we are going to be testing, and we are going to be reviewing the execution. So how to do it? And I want to explain this first. So here you're going to identify the details of the flow, the flow name, the owner, the status. At the moment is already on, because when you create a flow, it's going to be activated automatically. If you identify that probably is an error, or you want to add something, you need to turn off. And after that, just click on edit the flow, and after that, just turn it on again. Okay. Um, the power ups or the power automate portal is going to present you here the connection that you are using. For example, at the moment I'm connected to common data service, that is the database or the CRM environment. And something that I want to highlight is that if you just put your mouse here over the URL, as you can see, it said common data service current environment. What it means that when you deploy this flow to the production environment, is going to be able to connect to the production environment immediately. In a previous version, when we edit the flow, you need to put the connection that you want to use, and when you deploy that, you need to reconfigure that and some other things. But Microsoft already changed that, and now when you deploy the flow, is going to be connected directly to the environment that you use on the deployment. Okay, so that's something really cool because I mean it's less work. Additionally, we are using the Outlook functionality to send an email, but I mean, there is a lot of additional functionalities that you could use it. There's a lot of connectors here. As I mentioned, almost 300 connectors. You could connect it to Twitter, uh, there's a lot of things here. So it just depends on the functionality that you require, but you could do exactly the same that I'm doing, just connecting pieces. And after that, just executing the process. Okay, so the flow is already on. So I'm going to execute the action to activate the flow. And after that, we will see the functionality. How to test it? You could click here. I mean, I already include the information. You just need to save it. And the flow is going to start soon. This probably take some seconds. I hope that shouldn't be too much. But here you will see all the executions that the flow had at the moment. Okay, we already have the flow here. Okay, so the Power Automate execute the flow from 1 second ago. The execution takes 33 seconds, milliseconds, sorry, and the result was success. So if you want to see the details of the execution, you want to click here. You can click there, and after that, you will see the design that you did at the beginning. But the Power Automate is going to check the steps according to the execution. Uh, Wait a minute. It's taking too much time, but let me try again. Okay, so as you can see here, it is telling me that identifies a record that was created. It takes less than 1 second. And after that, it sends an email. And here I can see the information that the Power Automate used for sending the email. I can see the outputs. I can see if there is any issue, any problem, or any error. I'm going to be identifying the error here immediately. And it's really simple. So if I review my email, probably I already well, I have a lot of emails, but for example, uh, as you can see here, I already received my email automatically, and it was just I mean, I create that notification really quick. So it's a functionality that is going to solve you a lot of things. I want to share with you one of the Power Automate flows that I used to implement in my implementations. It's really easy to do it, and it's really cool. The functionality is that if you click here, for example, as you can see, you could send SMS messages directly from the CRM. It's something that is not out of the box. So what I did was that I create an entity, an SMS entity, that is going to receive a subject, is going to receive a phone number, and is going to receive a message. And I had a flow that identifies when a record is created here. and do an integration. It's not an integration, just use uh, a connector with Twilio to send that. So let me show you that flow. Probably is going to give you some ideas, or probably probably not, but I want to share with you that PowerAutomate send SMS. So, and let's edit it. So it's really easy. You just need to identify the action. Again, added SMS organization. So when you create a record here, you will send an SMS. Of course, you need to create an account in Twilio and you need to get a number. But with that number, you just need to put the number here, and you will use the phone number that the person is just registering here. And after that, you will send the message that the person just registered in the CRM. It said that the limit is 1,600, but just take in account that the SMS, the limit is 140. But just doing this, every time that someone creates a record here, the CRM, I know, not the CRM, the Power Automate is going to send an SMS directly to the person. And the idea with this is that all the interaction with the customer, not just the appointment emails, the phone calls, even the SMS are going to be related directly here. So that's why I used to implement that, because I think that it's a really good way to have all the interaction with the customer directly there. I know that SMS is not a really useful uh, probably method, but it's something that is still on use. Okay. Okay, so let me just close this. If you have an error, well, sorry, let me just go back to the other one, to the send an email. Okay, go to solutions. Okay, and when you select, for example, this one, Cloud Flow, there is additional functionalities here. You could use the analytics that is going to let you know what is the rate, the use rate that you have when you Power Automate, the actions, the errors that you are getting. You could identify the information based on the last 30 days. You could do, and you could review the use of your flow directly from here. Additionally, you could turn it off if you don't want to use anymore, or you could just share to allow someone else edit the flow. Okay, that's the basic functionalities that you could use it here. The Power Automate potential is based on the connectors. So if you already understand the connectors, you are going to be able to do many different things here. If you want to include, for example, a condition here, you just need, let's say that I'm going to delete this one. Actually, I could add it at the top. But if you want to include a condition, for example, when you include a condition, you're going to have both ways. You are going to have the yes action or the no action. If you want to include an additional condition, you could do it. I mean, you could do it as complex as you need. Additionally, you could do some other triggers, not just when a record is created. You could use it, for example, something as schedule it. If you want to just execute something that is going to be happening every day, you could do it. Just change the trigger, use the schedule trigger. But basically, and the main functionality is exactly the same. It's a really, I think that is really easy tool, and it's something that is going to help you a lot. Okay. Okay. After that, if you want to send this to a different environment, you just need to click here. You just need to select. Actually, if you open it, you will see here the flows, but probably said It doesn't say anymore, but it should be here. Yeah, modern flow. If you click on processes, all the Power Automate flows that you have are going to appear in a category, say, with the name modern flow. And if you click here, it's not going to be possible to open it here. So that's why that you need to go to the Power Automate portal. So the CRM is going to be relating the elements here because he needs to understand what is connected with CRM, and it's going to allow you to publish or to export these flows to a different environment. So if, for example, this is my development environment and I want to transfer this to a production environment, I just need to export the solution in a managed way. I mean, in like a managed solution, and after that, just import that to the production environment. After do that deployment, I need to come here again. I need to select the production environment, for example. After that, I need to go to solution again, identify the solution, and turn on the flow because the flow is going to be turned off. So you need to review the flow, identify that is already configured, and after that, probably just turn it on. That's the procedure that you need to follow. So that's why I recommended you at the beginning have it a managed solution, just to be able to transfer that flow to a different location, to a different environment. Okay. Uh, well, that's basically the introduction that I want to give you regarding to the CRM and Power Automate integration. If you want, you could try it by yourself. You could have access to our CRM environment here, and you could try it by yourself. I really want to encourage you to use it Power Automate because it's a really cool platform, and every day more and more connectors are published, so it's something that it's really growing, and it's going to be every day more useful. Additionally, if you want, there is a lot of templates here that you could use it, the functionalities that are really basic and that are really useful. Probably there are some needs that you even don't know, but if you start reading the team plays, probably there are some ideas that are going to came up to your mind because there is a lot of things that you could do it. And for example, here you will see how to interact with a schedule procedure, with a schedule Power Automate. If you want to add buttons to your Power Apps, and after that activate some Power Automate, you could do it. So there is a lot of things that you could do. There is a lot of templates here. So uh, have fun with them. And that's it. Thanks a lot for your time and for your participation. And if you have any question, you could just send me an email and I will try to send you documents, or I will try to solve your question as soon as possible. Thanks a lot for your time.